special segment of the Hub City Show. We are here on location at the Humanity Project with the very busy Charlie Burrell. Thanks so much for giving us the time.
No problem. Thanks for coming in today.
Super busy as always, maybe more busy than you've ever been after these 4 months of going through winter. And kind of in the spotlight, you took part in a CBC forum on housing and shelter. Do you think that gave you more exposure? Was that exposure a positive thing?
I think it was good for our community. It, it brought a lot more awareness to what was happening in our community, and it gave the people in our community kind of a voice and a forum to be able to ask their questions and talk and see what was next on the agenda for housing and helping those in our community that are struggling each and every day. Awareness is always number one. It's important to creating real change in our community and to helping the less fortunate, because the one thing about homelessness is it could be you tomorrow, and it's going to take all of us working together to fix this. So I think that was a great opportunity, and it was a great forum for people to come together and kind of talk about what's happening and where we go next.
I kind of got the impression, and this is actually just from me talking to other people in the community, that for the Humanity Project specifically, it helped people really get an even better sense of what you guys do. Because Lisa Ryan and the YMCA Reconnect has been in the spotlight as well, but it also gave you guys a chance to kind of almost lend your voice as I want to say like an expert in the field. Really, you really see it at the ground level. So what you're able to contribute is really important to the discussion.
Well, yeah, we're here every day, Poverty doesn't take a break. Whether it's a holiday, a snowstorm, it doesn't matter. Poverty does not take a break. We are here 365 days for the people in our community who need us, whether that's to get a nice hot meal, or whether in the wintertime during those cold winter months it was a place to put your head down and get a good night's sleep and not have to worry about losing your fingers or your toes or freezing to death or getting hypothermia. So yeah, it's good. Like I said, awareness is great. It's great for more people to know what we're doing here in our community and who we're doing it for, and by more people becoming involved in it and helping out, whether that's a simple thing as a share on Facebook or, a simple idea that you might have to make things a little bit better, or whether it's coming down, volunteering your time, giving your time, or just, contacts that and resources that We all have something to give. Not everybody has time, not everybody has money, but everybody has something to give to make this a better community for all of us.
To that end, and in the spirit of exposure and just getting the numbers out, you guys, for the first time, have just gone through housing a shelter here overnight.
Yeah.
So give us a sense of how that happened and how many people you're helping.
Yeah, that was an experience. That was an experience because, as you can see, we're in a dining hall. So it was a matter of taking this dining hall every night after supper, cleaning the tables, cleaning up the floors, putting all the beds out, getting everybody situated, feeding them kind of a late night snack so they have something to eat, and then everybody would go to bed. The next morning everybody gets up and feed them breakfast, and then it was a matter of getting your stuff, getting it ready, putting it into your bins, putting the beds away, cleaning up the floors, and then hauling all the tables and chairs back out and cooking a meal for 150 people. It was an experience, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it just for the simple fact of knowing that nobody died outside this winter. I've yet to meet a homeless person or a person experiencing homelessness who truly deep down inside wants to be homeless and wants to be outside in -35 weather. I've seen a lot of people who don't typically use shelters come in and use the services here because I think it was more of like a family unit. There was people in here and they felt close to, they could come in, they could, if they didn't want to go to sleep, they could sit down, have a coffee downstairs, and they could free to leave at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning if they want, and they were free to come back at any time, It was treating people like people and basically letting the responsibility be on them, and the only thing that we asked in return was that nobody froze to death outside this winter.
And we were talking a little bit earlier, I mean, obviously what you guys do on a regular basis is a big operation. You're feeding 150 to 200 people, sometimes 250 on a daily basis. But then to bring in, you said almost up like 50 to more people to come in here and switch this whole place around. That must have been a huge challenge.
It was a huge challenge, but again, like I said, we built a community. So it wasn't just a matter of just volunteers. It was also the people that stayed here who became involved and who helped clean up the floors and helped clean the bathrooms and, you know, bring in the food orders and help with the extra work that needed to be done. Honestly, we couldn't have done it without their help. It's truly a team effort between everybody, because that's what it takes. It doesn't take, to fix this problem, it's not going to take somebody that's rich and it's not going to take somebody that's poor. It's going to take somebody that's rich and poor working together, you know, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take all of us. And that sense of community and teamwork, to me, was one of the greatest things, to see that our friends would get up in the morning and they'd help start putting away their beds, and they, you know, they'd help somebody else that couldn't put away their bed, and they'd help them put their bins on the stage, and then they would help clean the floors and get everything ready so that supper was ready for other people. You know, it was very heartwarming to see.
Yeah, I can imagine. To your point, it seems like everybody kind of needs to take ownership of the situation. It's nice to see that the people that are using it realize that, you know, I can help out. I can help out the person next to me,
yeah.
and together, you know, we'll move forward and hopefully get, you know, move on to better things. I did want to talk to you a little bit about funding, about
yeah.
the money coming in. Because I don't know if people know this, but you particularly in this operation, you're not getting any government funding.
No, so like for this winter, when we sheltered people, the whole winter was done on basically the community's dime. We run it with volunteers, and all of our money goes back into paying the oil, the power, the food, things that we need. And it was all done with just strictly community support. And honestly, it's done at a pretty low cost for it being done. I don't think that we even spent on our oil, our power, and all of our food for feeding upwards of 200, 250 meals a day. I don't think we spent even $30,000 this winter because of all the community, you know, that's community donations, but that's also businesses and individuals that are also throwing in what they can. You know, we had a gentleman, Donald, that was gracious enough. He bought all of our beds, you know, so that everybody had a place to sleep on. So that was a cost that the organization didn't have to incur, but it was donated from someone in our community, which is just awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic when you think about that, you know?
It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, really the community coming together and helping out that way is, I mean, Donald was, and what I find amazing is that Donald's just one story.
Yeah.
You know, like it's we were talking earlier, it's like a domino effect. That's just one story of one guy doing really an amazing thing, but there's so many others, either small or big, different levels. It's everybody pitching in.
You know, the one thing is, as you know, we were on the streets at one time. We were feeding people out of a parking lot, and it was hard, and it sucked. But I had people that came to me with $2, $5, $100, $1,000. But I had hundreds of people who came to me and they said, Charlie, I don't have much, but this is all I have. And they'd give me, you know, $2 to $5, whatever it was they had. And we took all those not much donations and stuck them in a pile. And that pile got up to $180,000. And once that pile got up that high, we bought this place. We bought this place for our community. So the littlest things we do can make the biggest difference. You know, we don't think that what we're doing is much. But when you add up all those actions of people doing not much, it adds up to something great.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little bit of time left. I want to talk about volunteers as well. Obviously, you guys are volunteer heavy. That's how you run on stuff. If people want to get involved, what's the best way for them to kind of reach out? People watching here saying, like, I don't have much, but I've got time.
Yeah.
What's the best way for them to reach out?
We'd love to have your time. And it's the best way to reach us is either to stop in here at 449 St. George Street and talk to someone here, or send off a quick email to volunteers@thehumanityproject.ca, and someone will get back to you. Or, of course, you can reach us by our Facebook page, or you can call us on the phone at 506-382-6840.
There's mail, carrier pigeon if you need it, you know, whatever you need. Whatever works. Okay, so one of the reasons why I did want to talk to you is because we're going to host the 3rd annual Humanity Project Telethon again on Rogers TV.
Yes.
April 27th from 1 to 5, that's a Saturday. Pretty exciting. Third
Yeah.
time we get to do this.
I know, it's awesome. It's and like I was saying to you earlier, you know, the first one that we ever did, we were sitting in a parking lot and we moved our way up into a new building. And the second one we didn't even have a kitchen. And now we have a beautiful new kitchen. So then, you know, the money we raise from this one's going to obviously, we want to put it into, we need a walk-in cooler freezer eventually, and we're also going to need wheelchair access to our building so that everybody is able to access the services here that they need. You know, it's not fair for someone to have to get a takeout container that's in a wheelchair and sit outside and eat their food outside. It's heartbreaking.
No, I can imagine for sure, and great causes as always, and even just the general operation. I mean, we're talking about 200 people that need food, that get a delicious meal. I've seen them, I've eaten them actually. You guys have been nice enough to let me have some. Absolutely delicious meals. Charlie, thanks so much for coming in.
No problem. Thank you for coming in.
We'll see you on the 27th.
I'll see you on the 27th.
It'll be lots of fun, lots of bands. We'll have the information on how you can participate and donate, so make sure you check that out.